In 1968, Robert F. Kennedy left the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, passing through the kitchens. 3 bullets struck him, and he died the next day in the hospital. The shooter, Sirhan Bishara Sirhan, claimed he was hypnotized and manipulated, used as a puppet in the tragic event. Robert McGee, one of the few people in American frontier history, survived having his flesh ripped from his skull in the summer of 1864. Despite enduring unimaginable pain, he showed extraordinary resilience and lived to tell his story. In 1890, photographer E. E. Henry captured this rare image. It stands as a testament to McGee's incredible survival and unyielding spirit. Staff Sergeant Reckless, a warhorse acquired by the U.S. Marines in 1952, became a legend of the Korean War. Known for her incredible intelligence and courage, she memorized supply routes after only a few trips. Reckless undertook solo missions, navigating dangerous terrain to deliver supplies under fire. Her bravery extended to evacuating the wounded, cementing her legacy as a true hero of the battlefield. In Colombia, during the era of slavery, African women turned their hair into tools of liberation. Observing their surroundings, they wove intricate maps into their braids. These hairstyles marked roads, escape routes, trails, and natural landmarks like rivers and mountains. Their creations became codes, guiding enslaved people to freedom and leaving behind a legacy of resilience and ingenuity. Alice Elizabeth Doherty, known as the Minnesota Woolly Girl, was born with a rare condition. She had approximately 2-inch long blonde hair covering her body. Alice is the only known person with hypertrichosis lanuginosa born in the United States. Her condition made her a unique figure in medical history, and she became a notable part of sideshow culture. In 1977, one of the most devastating incidents in rock music history occurred. A Convair CV-240 passenger aircraft, running out of fuel, crashed in a wooded area near Gillsburg, Mississippi. The crash claimed the lives of 6 people, including 3 musicians from the legendary American rock band Lynyrd Skynyrd. This tragedy left an indelible mark on the music world, changing the course of rock history. In the 19th century, Afro-descendant women in Peru were enslaved. They were chosen for their ability to produce breast milk and their experience in caring for children. However, their work went beyond breastfeeding. Many were subjected to constant abuse, forced into repeated pregnancies to sustain their role. This dark chapter of history highlights the brutal exploitation of women during slavery. Sophie Scholl was executed in 1943 for leading student resistance against Hitler. She was just 21 years old. Her last words were, "How can we expect righteousness to prevail when there is hardly anyone willing to give himself up individually to a righteous cause? Such a fine sunny day." Sophie's courage and unwavering beliefs remain an inspiration to this day. On the night of June 11, 1962, 3 inmates pulled off the only successful escape from Alcatraz. Using papier-mâché heads placed in their beds, they fooled the guards into thinking they were asleep. Their daring escape remains one of the most famous prison break stories in history. Charlotte Greenwood, born in 1928, was known for her incredibly long legs. She humorously claimed to be the only woman in the world who could smear a giraffe in the eye. Her unique physicality and sense of humor made her a standout figure in the entertainment world. This is the last photo ever taken of the 3 lighthouse keepers of the Flannan Isles. These remote islands, off the coast of Scotland, were home to the keepers. In December 1900, they mysteriously disappeared, never to be seen again. The unexplained event remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries. Madeline Astor was just 18 years old when she married millionaire John Jacob Astor. When the Titanic sank in 1912, her husband perished in the disaster. Madeline inherited his fortune and became one of the wealthiest women of her time. Her life, marked by love, loss, and tragedy, remains a poignant part of Titanic's legacy. On August 30, 1942, the Japanese demanded that prisoners at Changi sign a document promising not to escape. To the British and Australian prisoners, it was a challenge to their honor and sense of duty. Refusing to accept this, they stood firm, knowing that escape was their only hope for freedom. The act of defiance became a symbol of resistance during World War II. A Swedish sailor was shipwrecked on an island inhabited by cannibals. Captured, he was brought before the island's king, who was intrigued by the foreigner. The king's daughter fell in love with him, and after marrying her, they had 9 children together. In an unexpected turn of fate, he eventually succeeded his father-in-law as the island's king. This story of survival, love, and power remains one of history's most fascinating and unlikely journeys. As World War II began, a hero emerged from the chaos, a bear named Wojciech. Wojciech joined the 22nd Artillery Supply Company of the Polish Army. He became more than just a pet, he was a comrade, a morale booster, and a war hero. His remarkable story is a testament to loyalty, courage, and the bond between soldiers, no matter the species. In 1888, Bertha Benz, and her 2 sons quietly left their house, and unknowingly changed the world forever. While Bertha's husband, Karl, lay asleep, she left a note on the kitchen table, informing him that they were leaving, to visit her mother in Pforzheim, Germany, some 60 miles away. Her journey was more than just a trip, it was a bold step into the unknown, a pioneering move that would forever alter the course of history. In 1954, 63-year-old Maine farmer, Annie Wilkins, embarked on an impossible journey. She had no money, no family, she had just lost her farm, and her doctor had given her only 2 years to live. But Annie wanted to see the Pacific Ocean before she died. Against all odds, her journey would become a testament to resilience, determination, and the unwavering spirit to live life on her own terms. After the death of her husband, and with no breadwinner in the house, Mary and Bevan decided to enter a contest, and won the offensive title of ugliest woman in the world. She was hired by a circus, and endured the ridicule of others, in order to raise her children, and give them a better life. Her story is one of sacrifice, resilience, and a mother's determination to provide for her family, no matter the cost. In 1963, Heinz Meixner took matters into his own hands in a bold bid for freedom. He removed the windshield of his convertible, deflated its tires as low as possible, and, with his fiancée and her mother hidden inside, he approached the boom barrier. With a burst of courage, he sped under it, escaping into the freedom of West Berlin. A daring and resourceful escape that would become a piece of Cold War legend. When she was just 19 years old, Joan Trumpauer Mulholland became a symbol of courage during the civil rights movement. She was sent to death row for 2 months, for joining the famous Freedom Rides across the Jim Crow South. Her bravery in the face of injustice helped spark change in a nation divided by racial segregation. In 1866, just 1 year after the 13th Amendment was ratified, the amendment that ended slavery, a new form of exploitation emerged in the southern United States. Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina began to lease out convicts for labor, peonage. This system turned the business of arresting black individuals into a highly profitable enterprise, perpetuating racial injustice and inequality long after slavery was officially abolished. In 1942, a Japanese floatplane dropped incendiary bombs on an Oregon state forest, marking the first air attack on the U.S. mainland during World War II. Launched from the Japanese submarine I-25, Nobuo Fujita piloted the aircraft over Oregon, firebombing Mount Emily and igniting a forest. This unexpected attack on American soil brought the war closer to home. Gregory Peck, one of the world's most beloved film stars, captivated audiences with his talent and charisma. But behind the scenes, his family faced deep struggles. From hard addiction and divorce to the ultimate heartbreak, the loss of his son to suicide, Peck's life was marked by profound sorrow. A reminder that even icons are not immune to tragedy. The man in this photo might appear to be a poor man, a beggar, or even a homeless wanderer. But in reality, he is Leo Tolstoy, one of the greatest figures in Russian literature. His name is legendary, yet the extraordinary story behind this humble image remains lesser known. Join me in uncovering the remarkable tale of the man behind the masterpiece. Ellen Elliot, a resilient and eccentric woman, carved her name as one of Colorado's notable pioneers. Born in 1842, her life was shaped by a series of hardships, starting with the loss of her husband. Despite her struggles, she embarked on a remarkable journey to the American West, leaving an enduring legacy of strength and perseverance. On October 14, 1912, Theodore Roosevelt was shot by a saloon owner moments before giving a speech in Milwaukee. Astonishingly, the very speech he was about to deliver played a key role in saving his life. Folded thick and tucked in his coat pocket, the manuscript slowed the bullet, allowing Roosevelt to survive, and to deliver the speech with the bullet still lodged in his chest. The story of two remarkable women, Mary Chisholm and Elsie Knocker, begins in 1914 with the Flying Ambulance Corps. They served on the Belgian front during World War I, operating an aid post perilously close to the front lines. Their bravery and commitment led them to become the only women authorized by Act of Parliament to serve in the trenches, a testament to their extraordinary dedication. When 67-year-old Emma Rowena Gatewood told her children she was going out for a walk, they didn't think much of it. What they couldn't imagine was that Emma, armed with no hiking boots, no backpack, no GPS, no sleeping bag, and no equipment, just sheer guts and determination, was about to become a legend. Her incredible journey is a story of resilience and the power of the human spirit. Willie Sutton, a celebrated American bank robber and prison escapee, earned his nickname, the Actor, for his incredible talent for disguises. He fooled authorities time and again by posing as a guard, a messenger, a policeman, a diplomat, or even a window cleaner. His story is a testament to cunning, creativity, and the audacity of one of history's most infamous outlaws. Known as the Numbers Queen of Harlem, Stephanie St. Clair built an enormously successful gambling empire in the 1920s. When rumors surfaced that gangster Arthur Dutch Schultz planned to encroach on her territory, she didn't back down. Instead, she had choice words for him, proving her fearless determination to protect her empire at all costs. Carl Braden was arrested and sentenced to 15 years in jail for a simple, yet audacious act. He purchased a home for a black veteran in the 1950s, despite the real estate agent's refusal to sell to Negroes. Braden's actions were a testament to his commitment to racial justice during a time of fierce segregation. Joseph Menzik, known as the Last Knight, lived a life like that of medieval chivalry in Czechoslovakia until 1945. Residing in a castle without electricity or cars, he embraced a bygone era. During World War II, Menzik even wanted to charge German tanks on horseback, clad in full armor, embodying the spirit of a true knight. On March 20, 1974, Princess Anne and her husband, Captain Mark Phillips, were returning to Buckingham Palace from a charity event. Their royal car was halted halfway up the mall by Ian Bell, who shot the princess's personal police officer. This daring kidnapping attempt on Princess Anne's life shocked the nation, though she bravely managed to escape. Mazzucchelli wasn't known for her smile. The photograph, captured around 1900 by Adam Clark Vroman, showed a young Hopi woman gazing out the window, her expression a stoic mask. But behind that mask, a tempest brewed. In 1974, Englewood native, Mary Wallace, drove into history when she became the first woman to drive a Chicago Transit Authority (CTA) bus. Wallace was a popular driver who remained on the job for 33 years before retiring. Pepsi was first invented in 1893 as Brad's Drink by Caleb Bradham, who sold the drink at his drugstore in New Bern, North Carolina. It was renamed Pepsi-Cola in 1898, marking the beginning of its journey to becoming a global brand. According to the Nobel Prize post, it was said that Charlie Chaplin was the only person in Hollywood Albert Einstein wanted to meet. As expected, the meeting between the two geniuses led to some scintillating conversation. In 1951, Marilyn Monroe attended a party at the Beverly Hills Hotel wearing a red dress. The provocative, low-cut dress drew the ire of a female journalist, who called her cheap and vulgar. She even went on to say that Monroe would have looked better wearing a potato sack. It weren't the Nazis who fixed inflation, it were Gustav Stresemann and Hjalmar Schacht who did it. The way they did it was pure genius and often overlooked amidst the horrific events of the time. Let's have a look.